Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News Today starts now.
Contention at the Capitol after being confronted with armed protesters and a lawsuit threat from GOP lawmakers regarding her executive orders. Governor Whitmer speaking out.
We're making decisions based on the best medical science, not a political poll, not a tweet, and not a threat of litigation.
Meantime, Detroit officials are warning citizens to honor the governor's social distancing guidelines. Now at 7, a look at the consequences for those who break the rule. We'll get to our coronavirus coverage at 7 a.m. in just a moment. But first, good morning, everyone. I'm Sean Lay. Good morning to you, Priya, in the newsroom.
Yeah, that's right. And Sean, just take a look outside at that live shot. Downtown Detroit looking beautiful. That skyline just basking in the sunshine there. And we're talking about a pretty good weekend on tap.
Let's get right to it. Andrew Humphrey is back. He's in the Weather Center. Andrew, really going to be a beautiful weekend. You're tracking a few showers we need to keep an eye on.
That's right. Emphasis on the word few. And here's some of that warm weather that we talked about last weekend. It is here just in time for this weekend. We've got temperatures that are in the 50s right now, upper 60s and low 70s, upper 60s by noontime with partly sunny skies, partly sunny in the afternoon. And there's a slight chance of a scattered shower, even the slighter possibility of a thunderstorm or two, mainly after 3, 4 o'clock. But it will not wash out any of your plans. If you do happen to venture outside, don't forget to wear your mask. Make sure you have them for the kids and the rest of the family as well. Chances are many neighborhoods remain dry for today. We're looking at 53 degrees currently. We had mostly cloudy skies earlier, but now some of those clouds are breaking apart. But milder than what it was like 24 hours ago, with upper 40s and low 50s. Now it's in the middle 40s for our friends in Port Huron, 46 degrees there, while it's 52 in Ann Arbor, also in Pontiac. Good morning, Howell. You've got a temperature of 53 degrees. What about Sunday? Can we keep the warm weather going? Any more showers? We'll talk about that and your 7-day forecast in minutes.
Andrew, thanks. With our really first beautiful spring weekend right here at our doorstep, Mayor Mike Duggan in Detroit and the police department reminding everyone that they want people to really honor the social distancing guidelines.
Yeah, as Mara McDonald reports, the mayor says parks are fine as long as people keep their distance.
You do this or have a big house party or gather somewhere with all sorts of people not respecting social distancing, and you will be ticketed.
We're going to have our first really good weekend, probably weather-wise. And all of the good news that you see on that slide will be undone in a hurry if people go out in the parks, in the neighborhoods, and gather in large groups.
So many Detroiters have been working around the clock to stop the spread of the virus in the city, and the numbers, finally, are so encouraging that a backslide now would be heartbreaking. So do the police want to use their resources to ticket you for violating the governor's order against gatherings?
Mara, we absolutely do not.
But they will. The Detroit Police Department has been ravaged by this virus. Their jobs made extremely difficult. Don't put them in a position where they have to ticket you.
We have to look at the numbers. We're still getting 100 people a day into the city testing positive. We have multiple deaths a day still from this terrible disease. The mayor and the chief of police, they want people to have a good time. They do. But we're going to have to exercise our ways to do that in a more singular fashion.
I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Mara also says be aware the Detroit Police Department will be monitoring what they consider high traffic areas where folks like to congregate. Since the governor's no gathering mandates were issued, Detroit police, they have handed out 750 tickets for people violating those ordinances.
And let's get you updated now on the latest on COVID-19 here in our state. Here's a breakdown of our current case count. As of our last update on Friday, there were 77 confirmed deaths from COVID-19. And that was between Thursday and Friday afternoon. In total, we've lost 3,866 people to the virus. Michigan now has more than 42,000 confirmed cases. This is up 977 cases from Thursday. New updates have been coming mid-afternoon. Of course, like every day, we'll bring you the latest on clickondetroit.com and on air.
Also making headlines, Governor Whitmer signs an executive order to allow real estate and outdoor work to resume next week, in addition to construction. She's also speaking out after the Republican-controlled state legislature threatened to sue her, saying that any decisions she makes will not be based on politics or legal pressure.
This is not a switch that we flip. This is a dial that we turn. And we are driven by the data. We are driven by the outcomes for our people. We're driven by the hospitalization rate. And as of right now, we've lost almost 300 people in the last 72 hours. We are not out of this crisis, and it is important that we do the next right thing. And it's going to be driven by the data, and it's going to be driven by medical experts, not political polls, not political posturing, and not political maneuvers like you saw yesterday at the Capitol.
Well, in response to the governor extending that state of emergency, House Speaker Lee Chatfield posted on social media Friday. It reads in part, quote, "The law in Michigan is clear. Only the legislature can extend a state of emergency. We offered our hand to the governor yesterday, but she rejected it. This is an unprecedented pandemic, which requires unprecedented partnership. Michigan deserves better." Thursday, the Republican-led legislature authorized a lawsuit against the governor over the emergency powers being extended. So far, a lawsuit has not been filed.
On the national front, some streets in many major U.S. cities are seeing more people as some states are reopening, but some streets do remain empty.
There are more than 1 million confirmed coronavirus cases here in the U.S. More than 65,000 Americans have died. This according to Johns Hopkins University database information.
But even as the death toll grows, more states continue to get back to business. As Miguel Almaguer reports, the debate over public health and economic survival continues.
Iowa, Utah, Wyoming, and Maine becoming the latest states to ease at-home orders while implementing new restrictions. Hoping to get the economy back on track, in Wyoming, barber shops and hair salons can open their doors. By Monday, nearly 30 states, home to roughly 150 million people, will start getting back to business in a new normal. In Arkansas, at fitness centers, members must have their temperatures checked at the door, wear masks when exercising, and stay 12 feet away from one another. In Texas, restaurant owners are hungry for business.
I anticipate this being pretty intense over the next couple of weeks as we try to navigate this and keep everybody safe.
This week, nearly 2,000 Americans died every day from complications of the virus, including Paul Carey, a Colorado paramedic who was infected while volunteering in New York City. While cases climb in hotspots like New York, protests to end stay-at-home orders are erupting.
We just have to learn to live with the virus or we're going to kill the economy.
In Michigan, where armed demonstrators stormed the Capitol, restaurants, bars, theaters, and casinos will be closed until at least May 28th. In North Carolina, gym owner Jason Morgan defying orders to stay closed.
It's wiped out any savings that I've had. It's put me in dire straits of losing a business that I've spent over half of my life building.
A national debate, bigger than businesses and beaches, as Americans enter uncharted water. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Thank you, Miguel. Let's talk about those beaches in California. There's a big battle brewing there. After large crowds flooded Orange County Friday, the governor ordered those beaches off limits.
But Friday, protesters lined the beaches, and two cities are challenging the governor's directive in court.
Let's go to Florida. The fact that area beaches are back open didn't sit well with at least one person, so he decided to show his displeasure in a rather dark way.
I can't get over these images. It's great. This local lawyer dressed up as the Grim Reaper walked around the beaches as a warning to beachgoers that the coronavirus is still a threat.
We are dealing with a deadly virus. I love our beaches. I've been fighting for our beaches for years, but I think it's too soon to draw thousands and millions of people to our beaches.
Look at that guy standing behind him defiantly. Most people who saw the Grim Reaper on the beach were unfazed and said they were still glad the beaches are open. Okay, I have a quick question though. How hot does it get in that outfit? It must get boiling. Well, a quick note, our website is packed with useful information to get you through the coronavirus pandemic. It's all on clickondetroit.com/coronavirus. And if you're going to take a cruise through Oakland County this weekend, you'll want to stay away from I-75. Both directions of the freeway are closed between 8 Mile and Square Lake Road. MDOT crews are working on 2 bridges and doing road work. Both directions of I-75 are expected to reopen Monday at 5 a.m.
It's coming up on 7:09 on the dot here in downtown Detroit. Priya, We are so happy to have Andrew Humphrey back with us.
Yeah, and you brought some good weather just like you promised, Andrew. 70s this weekend.
That's right. It gets warmer. Wonderful to see you also here at the station, even if it all is on television as we're operating remotely still. After working full-time at home, it's great to be back with temperatures that will be in the 70s later today, but a few showers here on 4 Live Radar. More on that with this afternoon's forecast, the full weekend and 7-day forecast coming up.